the story of how I got cheated on. Actually happened a couple days ago. I'm just gonna explain the day I got cheated on. I'm not gonna really explain the whole relationship because I feel like that's just a waste of time, just like he was. If anyone's going through something similar, you aren't alone. This happened Saturday night. That was the day I passed my real estate exam. And I was so happy, I was so excited. And I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, like he's gonna take me out to like dinner tonight. We're gonna celebrate. He's been working a lot. I'm super excited to be able to like finally go out with him because I haven't been out to dinner with him in months because his excuse is that he's always working now. I would like have these moments, you know, where I would like cry at him because I was so sad. We were so on and off for years. I was just like, I really don't feel like appreciated and loved. Your girl was really going through. Also, the pregnancy hormones don't help. He's like, we'll go to dinner soon. Like, we'll do it soon. We'll do something soon. Like, brushing me off or being like, why are you trying to start an argument? I do a lot for you. You paying for my fast food when we're together is doing a lot for me. You barely see me. The last time I got flowers was months ago at the beginning of my pregnancy. The last time you took me to dinner was months ago at the beginning of my pregnancy. I'm 7 months pregnant now. What are you talking about? Okay, that was like a little bit of backstory for you. Sorry, got off topic there. But essentially the night of, which was our last Saturday that just passed, I was really excited. I was thinking all day he was gonna take me to dinner, and I was just like waiting for him to ask, you know. He actually didn't ask me to go to dinner. He actually asked me to go meet his boss. I guess he never met his boss in person before because they work remotely. I was like, yeah, go ahead. Like, go meet your boss. So you've been working a lot. His schedule was 9 in the morning to 9 at night. Or so I thought. And I was like, yeah, go ahead. Like, go meet your boss. Like, you do you. I feel bad. Like, he never sees his friends. Like, you know what? Take a break, go. He asked me, like, at night, and I was like, are you going to drink? Like, is that why you're going at night and not tomorrow morning when work starts? Like, why are you spending the night at your boss's house? Right? Why are you spending the night at your boss's house? And he essentially said, oh, because I don't want to drive super early in the morning. I have to leave early because I'm all the way over here and I don't want to leave super early in the morning and I don't want to be tired. So they offered for me to just sleep over. Let me just wake up and we cold call all day. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. He was like, there's no drinking. There's nothing going on. It's just going to be me and my boss and my friend from high school. I was like, okay, sure. So all of that was a lie. Every single thing he told me was a complete and utter lie. There was drinking, first of all, that I didn't know till the next day. And it wasn't just his friend from high school. It was actually his other friends that I knew that are awful influences that actually are club promoters in LA. Why would I want my boyfriend when I'm pregnant being around a club promoter? I wouldn't. So I would never say yes to that, and he knew that. So he withheld that information from me. He got there at around like 10 o'clock p.m. He wasn't really texting me when he got there. The photos he would send me would just be of him and like the ceiling. Like he would take a picture of his face like this and just the ceiling. Like I couldn't see his surroundings. He obviously wasn't sending me like pictures of him with his friends because there was so many people that I didn't know were going that were there and he didn't want me to see that. I honestly thought nothing of it. I was trying to be like really trusting and like a really good girlfriend, and like him and I had like a big talk prior to him going about like trust and stuff. I was like, wow, like no way we're like moving forward in life together. Like we're actually like starting to trust each other. Like this is like great news. I got dogged when I trusted him. So he gets there at around like 9-10 p.m. and we're texting, but every like 30 minutes until 1 a.m. I stayed up. I really wanted to go to bed at 11 p.m. I'm pregnant and I don't want to be awake until 1 a.m. in the morning, but I was because he wasn't answering my text messages. I told him good night at like 1 a.m. He said good night, I love you, whatever. And then I had his friend from high school. I had his snap, and his friend from high school had his location on for me. And this kind of worked out in my favor that his friends didn't know about me. He didn't tell his work friends. He didn't tell his boss. His family didn't know. His friends didn't know. Still don't know. So like, why would his friend like be extra precautious if he doesn't even know we're together? He's not. His friend had his location on for me. I woke up at like 8 in the morning And I was like, oh, where's his friend's Bitmoji? It's not next to my boyfriend's Bitmoji, and they're at the same house. Where's his friend's Bitmoji? I actually searched up his friend's name, and it pinpointed me all the way to Hollywood. It said his friend was last active 5 hours ago, and I was up at 8 in the morning. So that was at 3 a.m. that his location was last pinged in Hollywood. I don't know how long they were all out there for, because it was pinged at 3 a.m. So they probably got home at like 4 or 5 in the morning. Saw that when I woke up, and my boyfriend was still sleeping at 8 a.m. when you would think he'd want to be up early because he starts work at 9, and you'd think he'd want to be punctual with his boss physically there with him, right? Like, oh, he definitely went, and that's why he's still sleeping. I'm literally just seeing red. I get up from my bed, I throw on sweats and a crew neck, and I literally drive to the location. I haven't seen his friend from high school in years. No one knows we're together. I didn't want to embarrass him, but like at the same time I already knew what happened, so I was like, if he doesn't care about embarrassing me, why would I ever care about embarrassing him? Not once has he ever like protected my name or protected me as a person, and that is so degrading as a woman, and I hate that I allowed myself to be with someone like that. But I went to the house, I knocked on the door, rang the doorbell, and his friend that I knew from years ago, the club promoter, opened the door. And I was like, oh. I said his name, and he was like, oh my gosh, and then he said my name. And I was like, yeah, can you go get blah, blah, blah for me? Like, my boyfriend. Can you go get my boyfriend for me? And he's like, oh, yeah, he's upstairs sleeping. And at this point, it's like 9:40 in the morning. Everyone in that house was still asleep when they're supposed to start work at 9 in the morning. So I was like, okay, they were definitely out all night, and the boss does not care that they are not working, or maybe this whole thing was a lie. Like, I don't even know what's going on. Maybe his boss isn't even here. His boss was there for a fact, because I did find out later that his boss drives a Tesla. When I walked up to the door, there was alcohol in the car, in the passenger seat and the driver's seat. There was White Claws, and I was like, okay. So there was a night full of drinking, and when his club promoter friend opened the door to answer the door, because I was there, I saw a ping pong table in the back with like little red solo cup shots, and then the big solo cups, and then White Claws, and I already knew. There was probably girls here. I don't know for a fact, unfortunately, but there was a night of drinking. He lied to me about that. They were all at the strip club. They're all sleeping. Everything is just coming to light to me as I'm at this house, like seeing all of these things. So his friend goes and wakes him up upstairs, and my boyfriend texts me, and he's like, why are you here? You're so fucking weird for that. Like, now everybody knows. Like, what are you doing here? I'm gonna call the cops on you. I was like, yeah, go ahead, call the cops, because there's underage drinking here, first of all. Second of all, there's drunk driving here in your boss's car. If you want to go make him a criminal, call the cops. The owner of the house has not told me to leave. No one's told me to leave. Call the cops. Do it. See what happens. But he didn't end up calling the cops because he knows he's stupid. He never came out of the house when I was there. I waited outside for like 30 minutes. I'm pregnant. There's nowhere to sit. I'm in a sweatshirt, and it's getting really hot. Because at this point, it's like 10 a.m., 10:30 in the morning, and it's really warm here. I'm just waiting out there for him to come out, to speak to me, to not be like a little pussy bitch, but he is one. Never fessed up to anything. I texted him, not showing him the proof of having his friend's location at the strip club. I was just like, I know you're at the strip club. And he's like, what? No, everyone was here all night. What are you talking about? And I sent him the screenshot, and then he's like, oh, I wasn't at the strip club. He just kept lying. And then I basically just told him, I hate you. I want nothing to do with you. You're disgusting. And then obviously I already knew he was telling his friends, like, oh, she's crazy. Like, why is she here? Just making me look literally psychotic. But karma does have a way. I just wanted to make this video to remind other women that you're not alone. I'm pregnant, and this evil motherfucker did this to me.
I was 13, I got kidnapped by a man that I met on Snapchat. Some of you guys might actually remember because our local news station covered the story after they found me, but I was the Florida girl that got kidnapped. My parents didn't know that I had Snapchat at first. I don't really think they understood what social media was that much either, not besides Facebook. They didn't really understand what Snapchat was. I only downloaded it because all of my friends had it and we'd send snaps back and forth. When I turned 13, I threw a slumber party and all of my friends came over, and we all had our little phones, and we all added a bunch of boys from Snapchat. We just wanted to have fun and talk to boys. We did not think think that it was dangerous at all to add random strangers. Well, one of the guys I added played a lot of sports. He seemed really cool. He skateboarded. He played the guitar. I thought he was the coolest thing in the whole entire world, and I was like, this is gonna be my boyfriend. So as you do when you're 13, we started dating like the next day. Mind you, I had never seen his face before. Like, we would only snap pictures, and his were always just like his pants or something dark and then the words across the screen. But I didn't really think anything of it because this was back when Snapchat had the little ghost where you had different pictures of your face. So there was a picture of a boy, so I thought, oh, that's him. I know what he looks like. So we're snapping back and forth. I asked him what school he went to, and he said a school nearby where mine was at. I thought it was a crazy coincidence, but looking back, I had my location on, so literally anyone I added could see where I lived. I think we were snapping for about a week when he started mentioning hanging out. And obviously I wanted to, but I wasn't really allowed to date when I was 13, so I couldn't tell my parents that I was hanging out with a boy. But I told my mom that me and my friends were planning on going to the mall, and she could drop me off like she normally does and come pick me up a few hours later while she runs her errands, and I would just be hanging out with my friends like normal. Week of the hangout comes around and he snaps me midweek, oh, he broke his leg. So I thought we were gonna have to cancel our hangout, and he was like, no, but instead of walking around the mall, what if my dad picks you up and we drive around? I was a little nervous at this idea because obviously I wasn't supposed to be meeting up with a boy and I wasn't supposed to be leaving the mall, but I agreed because I wanted to hang out with my boyfriend. So Saturday comes around, I get to the mall, I snap him that I'm at the mall and I'm waiting for him. He snaps back and says he's in the car, his dad will walk up and come find me and bring me to the car. In my mind, it made sense because his leg was hurting probably, so he didn't want to walk out. And so I go outside and there's a man there and he's smiling and he's like, hey, are you here to see my son? He's in the car, let's go. So I follow him to the car, but when we get to the car, there's no one else in the car. So I kind of look at him suspicious and I'm like, where is my boyfriend at? And the dad goes, oh, he's inside the bathroom. He went inside real fast, but if you want to wait in the car, like, he'll be out in a little bit. So I was a little nervous, but like I didn't really think too much of it. So I get in the car like an idiot and I'm sitting there and his dad starts asking me questions and asking me about kind of personal things that I had only shared with my boyfriend. And so I kind of asked him like, oh, how did you know that? And he's like, my son told me about you, so I was just curious how you've been doing and stuff. So we were sitting there for a little bit and I think I had mentioned him taking so long in the bathroom, like what was taking so long, and his dad was like, oh, you know, with his leg he takes a bit longer in the bathroom now. Do you want to go drive, get McDonald's, come back and we can pick him up after we get our McDonald's? And like, I was stupid enough to get in the car, but I really didn't feel like driving around with some random man that I had just met and I hadn't even seen my boyfriend. I was like a little nervous about that and some red flags were going off. So I said, yes, let's get McDonald's, but I really have to go to the bathroom first. So can I run inside, go to the bathroom, and then we can go get McDonald's? And he was like, yeah, just go in the bathroom. How about I just walk you in to make sure you get there okay? So we walk to the bathroom and we park next to the JCPenney's. The bathrooms next to JCPenney's are way smaller than the main bathrooms. And so there were only like 3 stalls in those bathrooms. And the way it is down the hallway, there's a door to enter the little hallway, and then there's the 2 doors for the girls' bathroom and the guys' bathroom. And then on the inside of the girls' bathroom, it connects to where the salon is in the JCPenney's. So you can walk in the girls' bathroom and then you can walk to the salon. So I go in the bathroom, I use the restroom, and by the time I'm done, I'm realizing like I don't want to do this anymore. I'm good. I'm kind of sketched out. Like, this is weird. I'm just done. So I call my mom. I call my mom 2 times and neither time she answers. And by this point, it was taking a while and I hear him knocking on the door. And he's like, hey, are you in there? Are you okay? Do you need help? Are you good? You're taking a while. He's like, my son just went back to the car, so whenever you're done, we can go to the car and go get McDonald's. And his voice was getting kind of nervous. It just didn't seem calm or normal. Like, who checks on someone when you're in the bathroom? That's freaking weird. So I called the cops. I couldn't get a hold of my mom. I called the cops, and my mom's always taught me it's better to be safe than sorry. So I ended up calling them, and I don't know if he heard me or if I just took too long, but he goes inside the girls' bathroom and starts banging on the stall in order to see what I'm doing, and I'm obviously on the phone, and he's like, there's no need to talk to anyone, you can come out, we're in the car, obviously losing his mind. And at this point, I kind of know I'm in danger, and I'm on the phone with the cops, and like, they can hear what's going on, and they're like, we're sending someone, are you safe, just stay where you're at. I'm like, I'm in the bathroom. They're like, keep the door closed, keep it locked. I'm trying to get my information, trying to get descriptions of what he looks like. I thought it was stupid. I was like, just come find me. Like, why do you need to know all this stuff? But I'm like trying my best with my shaky voice to tell them what's going on with this grown man yelling at me. And if you've been to a mall, you know their bathrooms are not the strongest thing in the world. And while he was banging on the door, he broke the part where the door locks. And he opens the bathroom and like grabs my arm and is like, come on, we need to go, we need to go. I start screaming at the top of my lungs while this man is dragging me out. He made it back into the little hallway when like one of the salonists runs into the bathroom and is trying to check and make sure like someone's okay because there's someone screaming in the bathroom. And he's like, this is okay, it's just my daughter. She doesn't want to get in the car and we need to leave. And I'm like, he's not my dad. He's not my dad. I'm like screaming, help, help, help. And this lady doesn't know what to do and she's screaming, you need to let her go. Someone call the cops. He's trying to hurry up and leave while grabbing my arm. And we get out into like the little main entranceway. And because we're no longer in the bathrooms, there are other people around. There were two dads that ran up because this isn't normal. There's a little girl screaming. There's a guy grabbing him. They run up. As they run up, the guy lets go of me and takes off running. The salon lady runs over to me to make sure I'm okay. But the two dads run over to him to grab him and they hold him down until the cops get there. So the police arrest him. They ask me to get in contact with my mom. My mom finally answers. They ask her to come down to the mall. They start asking me a bunch of questions to figure out what happened. I told them what was going on and we found out that this was the man I was talking to, not a little boy. My mom was glad I was safe, but obviously she was so mad at me. She took away my phone and gave me a flip phone until I was 17 years old. And I think the creepy dude got like 15 years in jail, so he's still in there for a little bit longer.
When I was in college, my boyfriend cheated on me, and let me tell you how I found out. So, I had met him on my birthday in September. It was my 21st, and I thought he was super cool. He was nothing like my first boyfriend, and I loved that about him. Until, he done some bug shit. So, essentially, our main problem was that he couldn't communicate. I don't even think he really wanted to be my boyfriend, but, it was like simple communication where it's like, he could be having an off day. Everybody has an off day, but he wouldn't tell me that. He would act like I was bothering him, but wouldn't tell me why. So it was a constant, like, I constantly felt like I wanted to be with him more than he wanted to be with me. And anyway, so we were on and off because he did some really, really fucked up shit. But he came to me and he was like, I really want to be with you, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, well, you have to, like, prove to me that you actually do. It's like, I have told you so many times ways that you could fix our relationship and you don't do it. So I said, I'm not getting back together with you until you, like, prove this. Anyway, so I felt like he was actively doing that. Finally, it only took him like 8 months, but at this time he actually was doing it. It was great. This was like the best time in our relationship, and we weren't even like dating. Like, we weren't even really dating. We weren't in a relationship. That's what I meant. So he had told me that he wanted to go to his frat's formal. He also graduated, by the way. I was a senior. He was a year older than me, but all of his friends were still in the frat. So he wanted to go to his frat formal, and I was like, okay, cool, have fun, whatever. I had trusted him because we were going through, like, such a good time that I thought, you know, I could trust him. Anyway, so, he's at his frat formal, and I was really stupid, and I fell asleep, and I woke up to my best friend spamming my phone, being like, Sam, I'm really sorry, but this is blank right now. And it's a picture of him making out with a girl. My initial reaction was, I texted her back, okay, thanks, and I'm, like, analyzing the picture for, like, any clue that it wasn't him, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, it has to be somebody else, because we were so good. Like, I could see this happening maybe if we were, like, in a fight or something was going on, but we were so good at this point that I was like, there's no way he would do this to me. And, yeah, it was him. And I texted him and I was like, dude, this is literally, like, the worst thing that you could have done to me. And he immediately texted me back and he's like, what are you talking about? And FaceTimes me. And, as he FaceTimes me, he's clearly blacked out drunk, like, so fucked up that, like, he's not making any sense. So I was like, dude, look at the picture I sent you. And he's like in the hallway walking back to his room, and he's like, I'm all by myself. Nobody's here but me. And he looks at the picture, no joke, we're on FaceTime, so I see his face, and he looks at the picture, he goes, huh. And then he then turns it on me. I don't exactly remember. He was like, if you want to believe that, fine. And I was like, believe it, it's a picture. And then, yeah, so he basically hangs up on me as if I did something wrong. And, I just, crying, bawling my eyes out, the usual. And, the next morning I try and talk to him because I was like, I need to know what happened, dude. And you know what he says to me? He goes, that's AI. That's not me. That's literally AI. And I wish I handled this situation a lot better because I am so impulsive and I just needed to know what happened right in that moment. And if I had handled it more maturely and more smart, I would have gotten an actual reaction out of him. But I proceeded to tell him that I was sending the picture to his mom on Facebook Messenger. And he flipped out and he was like, dude, you're fucking psychotic. And I was like, yeah, I fucking am. You cheated on me, so I'm sending this picture to your mom. That's pretty much it. I made some mistakes after that, and I highly regret them, but you live and you learn.
Okay, I'm gonna do a little story time while I full close on how I told my mom I was pregnant at 13. Oops, my earring. Yes, I got pregnant at 13, like y'all fucking heard. My mom was working during this time while I was being a hoochie. I promise you, she was not okay. She was clueless. I was just a bad child. Okay, so it was during August. Me and my baby daddy, we were on the way to go pick up my nephew from school. We were heading to Beaverton and we got pulled over because this motherfucker read a fucking red light like a stupid ass. Okay, so they stopped us. They asked for license. He didn't have a license or a permit. So they took him into custody. My sister's friend picked me up from where we got pulled over. And I went home with her and I was just crying the whole time like crazy, like a crazy bitch. And she was just asking me, oh, like, what's wrong? Shouted like I'm fucking pregnant, like I don't even know what to do. Like he got locked up and estoy preñada, like come on out. I got to my house and I got off. I took a deep breath because I was like, fuck. Mind you, when I walked inside the house, I was fucking bawling my eyes out, crying like crazy. So I went upstairs, I took my ass upstairs, and then my mom, she sees me and she's like, why are you crying like that? Like, you just got arrested. And I was like, it's more than him being arrested, like, I'm pregnant, I don't know what to do. My mom was in shock. Like, she looked at me and she was like, I'm not kidding you. She told me to get out of her room. Like, an hour or so passed. She gave me my space. Like, we gave each other space. And she comes in and she's like, oh, like, what are you going to do? What do you plan on doing? And I was like, I don't know. We just made an appointment. And now I have a 2-year-old, probably to be 3 in May. Yep.
Okay, so let's do a quick little story time. I don't know if I'm embarrassed or just like, I shouldn't be embarrassed because I didn't know. So a couple weeks ago, this man came into my job. And when he came through the door, he obviously was my type, like bald, beard, whatever. And he was looking at some exotic boots that we had. And he was like, hey, I called up here about a pair of boots. And I was like, yeah, I have them right here. And so he questioned, he's like, are you the girl that I talked to on the phone? And I was like, no, but I kind of had a feeling like when you were looking at those boots, you were the one who called for them. And so I grabbed the box and I took him over to a little bench that we had. And I was like, I'm going to set your boots right here for you to try on when you're ready. So I went about what I was doing and I was standing towards the back of the store talking to one of my other employees, and he like motioned and he was like, come here. And so I walked over to him and he was like, I really think I like this boot. And he was like, but I can't tell. What do you think? So I squatted down in front of him to do my job. And as I'm squatted down, he's like, this is probably the most inappropriate time for me to say this to you. And he was like, but you're really, really pretty. And I was just like, oh, thank you. And I went on to tell him like, yeah, your boot fits good. You've got room in there. It's going to stretch some. Like, you probably shouldn't go any bigger. Like, this is the perfect size for you. And so he hands me his credit card and he's like, here, just go pay for these. And so he handed me some other stuff too. He had some gift cards that his family got him for Christmas, whatever.
So I get up to the counter, pay for his boots. He comes up and I'm handing him his credit card back, and he's like, oh, you don't have a ring on your finger. And I was like, no, I'm single. And he was like, well, that's perfect for me. I should have said, oh, are you single? But I didn't. I was just like, whatever. Man hands me a piece of paper, walks out the door. As he walks out the door, I open it up. It's his phone number. I busted out laughing and told the girls at work. I was like, I kind of had a feeling that was going to happen, but whatever. So I waited. I was like, do I really want to text him? And I was like, whatever. Like, let's have some fun. So I shot him a text, and it took him almost a day to respond. That should have been a red flag right there. When he finally did, he was like, hey, sorry, I was busy with my kids. And he said, my daughter's getting married. Just a lot going on. Fine. Left it at that. That same day, he showed up at my job. He took me to get coffee because he wanted to take me out to lunch, and I was like, I only get like 40 minutes for a lunch break, and I was like, so I'm good to go get a cup of coffee. And we ran to the Starbucks, got a cup of coffee, came back, talked, chatted it up, whatever. He then says to me, where's your fingernails? And he was like, your nails were red on Saturday when I met you for the first time. And I was like, yeah, I broke 2 of them cleaning house. And I was like, I'm off this weekend, I'm just gonna go get them redone. So long story short, this man sends me the money to go get my nails and my toes done. And I was like, you don't have to do this, because if anybody who knows me knows I am weird about taking money from men. So much so, a man sent me money one time and I sent it back to him when he pissed me off, because you're not going to ever say that you did something for me. So I had a really hard time accepting it, but the other girls I work with were like, Ashley, let somebody do something for you. Like, you're like, oh, you know, I've got it, it's fine. And so I was like, okay, so whatever. Let him pay for my nails and my toes. Anyways, go on. His communication was pretty great for the most part. We talked all day long, but then I started noticing like certain times of the day, like between 6:30 and 7 o'clock, he would go silent. And I was like, well, maybe it's because he gets up early for his job. Come on, I'm not stupid. I should have seen the red flags. I kept telling the girls at work, something's up with this guy. He's either married or he has a girlfriend. Something's going on, and I'm going to get to the bottom of it. Well, curiosity got the best of me. He texted me on Friday, and he was like, hey, I'm going out of town this weekend. I may not be able to, like, really text with you, blah, 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 blah. Are you going to be okay? Because we were set to get a really big snowstorm. And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. I went to the grocery store. I'm good. It's Thursday. I haven't heard from this man since. And I was just like, okay, I know his first and last name. He does not know my last name. I did not give this man my information. All he knows is my first name's Ashley. That's it. He knows where I work. I got on Facebook and I searched his name. This man's been married for 35 years. 35 years. Sir, you are 54 years old and you are still out here chasing tail. And you're married. See, this is my problem of why I'm like, you know what? I'm good to stay single. Because even in your 50s, these men are still out here playing in our face. Like, at what point do you stop? At what point are you, like, done? Even in your 50s, like, at what point are you done playing games? Or does it just not ever end? Like, are you so jacked up in your head that you need multiple women to feel good about yourself? Like, there's nothing I despise more than a cheater. My ex cheated on me our whole entire relationship. 12 years I dealt with a cheater. 12 years. Never cheated on that man one time. Never got my lick back, not one time. I waited to get my lick back when we were broken up. And technically, you can't even say I got my lick back. I was single. I was allowed to do what I wanted to do. And what's crazy is even when we were broken up and I did start talking to another guy, I had guilt. I felt guilty for doing it. Even me right now being single because of this other man, I felt guilty for talking to another person. If that doesn't show you the type of loyalty that I have to somebody, I don't know what will. I've not spoken to this man and I'm waiting for him to message me, because when he does, I'm going to let it all fly. Like, I even told the girls at work, if I find out that's what it is, and I'm never the type of person to take money from somebody, I was like, there's a part of me that wants to just take his money from him. and then tell his wife everything. But I'm not messy like that. Like, I literally will just cut you off and be done with you. I'll block you from everything in my life. Like, don't step foot back in my place of business either. But I honestly, I don't understand. Like, at what point do we stop? And then you men wonder, and I know it's not all men. I know it's not, but my God, it's a lot. A lot. But yeah, fun story time. 2026 is turning out to be just an absolute blast.
Story time. When I was about 20, so I was 19, my mama had put me and my sister out because my sister was always fighting. People was always coming to the house, damaging the house. And I mean, it's been since middle school. My mom kind of just got fed up when we was out of high school. She said, fuck it, y'all got to. I even tried to tell my mom, like, I didn't do nothing. Why do I have to leave? Well, she replied with, I don't want your sister to think that I love her more, so both of y'all gotta go. So we had to move in with our grandmother. She was always willing to help. We moved in. She got us into this low-income apartment. We stayed with our granny for a few months. We didn't stay there long, but she got us into this low-income apartment. And even at the low-income apartment, the lady informed us that, hey, I don't usually do this. I don't rent to people who are friends or sisters or cousins because it does not last. Something always happens to where the lease needs to be broken or somebody needs to move out, and it's just always a hassle. So she did not want to do it. So we begged and pleaded this lady because we really wanted to get out of our grandmother's house. It's not that nothing was wrong with the house. We just wanted our own at the time. So we begged. She agreed to allow us to do it. She told us our rent was going to be $202 and the day we was going to move in and all of that. We got a 2-bedroom. She knew that we had little kids. My daughter was 2. Her son was 5. So the lady was okay with our kids, being in the room with us and all that. She was cool. She was like, $202. Y'all going to have the electric bill and that's. My sister felt the need to explain to me how she wasn't putting nothing on the $202 because that 202 was factored in from my income at my job because she didn't have a job. I didn't find that to be fair because you still finna be living here. Why should you be living for free? It's low income. You can give something. Why would you even want to force your sister to pay all of that by herself with the amount of money I was making back then? This was a long time ago. Minimum wage was probably at $5.60, okay? She didn't even want to put nothing on the electric bill. I mean, my sister just wanted to live free, okay? It really burned me, but at the same time, I was just happy to have my own. So then when we move in, I'm thinking, since I am paying the rent in this motherfucker, I should be able to get the biggest room. Nope. My sister took dibs on that too, said she was the oldest and she wasn't finna allow me to get the bigger room. She took the bigger room, moved all her stuff in there. And I know how my sister was because I lived with her all my life, okay? I have stories from when I was 6 with this girl. My dad has told me stories about when I was a baby with this girl. She literally has never shown no inkling of liking me as her little sister. So we move in. I take the smaller room. I just took it. Me and my daughter in there, we cool. And then my boyfriend comes along. My boyfriend starts coming over and, being with me in this little bitty room. But we was happy. This is what I mean by people appreciating what they got. I appreciated the little room I had, the little twin bed I had. Me and my man in there, in the room, sleep with my baby. We was cool. Until my sister didn't like that. I was happy with that. So then she started doing petty shit. My mama would come cook food, leave my boyfriend to play because he would be at work. Some days when she came and cooked, I didn't work weekends. Mainly she come on weekends and cook. She leave my boyfriend to play. My sister would either throw the food away so he wouldn't be able to eat or eat it. And say that he didn't buy no food or no seasoning or no forks or no plates. I mean petty shit. And would not allow him to eat. He didn't get mad. We wasn't tripping off of it. We knew who she was as a person. Didn't bother us. It just really was fucked up that she was doing shit like that. Then it came to a time where she just really wanted to put her hands on me. After a while, and I mean, we wasn't living there that long. It probably was like a month and a half. things started disappearing in the kitchen. And I mean things like knives. My mama gave us a knife set to use. She gave us a lot of her pots and everything at our house to try to help us because I think she felt bad about putting us out. So I started realizing the knives gone, and I'm asking, like, where all the knives at? Because I'm trying to cut stuff. I'm trying to do things. She didn't know. She claimed she didn't know where the knives was at. She didn't see them, or she threw them away because they broke or they was, bad. All of a sudden, we get into it. She charging at me with a big-ass butcher knife. And I mean one of the big ones. So I had to run from this girl so that she wouldn't stab me because I know that she would. It was years prior to this where she actually cut me. I still have the war wound. And she threw a TV at me, all because she was mad that the child of her father had passed away. But I told her, you're going to be all right, sis. I'm going to be here. I'm going to help you. I'm going to do all that I can. And I did. I was working at the time. I made sure her son didn't need for nothing. I watched him when I got off work, all that. She didn't care. She stabbed me or cut me, and she threw a TV at me while I was trying to run down the steps. So after she did that with that butcher knife and we was in our low-income apartment, I told my mom, I can't live here. I don't feel safe here. If this is what she doing, I don't feel safe. My mom tried to, oh, you guys just need to talk. We're going to talk about it and this. She comes over to try to talk. And, of course, my sister's not really talking. She's just saying how, oh, she be going to work and they be doing this and they be doing that, because me and my boyfriend, we would go do things. I had the car. I had the job. We had an apartment together, me and my sister, but she didn't really have much at the time. And it was okay. She was going to get it. She just, I guess, was impatient and wanted to take everything that I had as her. After my mom listened to her, she realized that my sister was really only mad because of what I had and she did not. So then she told me, y'all will be okay. My sister agreed that it was okay and that it was squashed and that she wasn't mad anymore and all this and that. Later on that night, shit happened again. I had to run to my room, close my door, and put something in front of my door just so she can not cut me or stab me, whatever she was going to do with that knife, until my boyfriend got there. And once my boyfriend got there, we both left and we went to his cousin's house to spend the night. Y'all, I can't make this shit up. I'm just happy that I actually got through all of this, that it did not make me be a fucked up person, because I could have been fucked up back towards my sister. But in my mind, that's my sister. I don't want to fight her. I don't want to be fucked up towards her. I want the best for her. I'm going to help her just like I did in high school when she didn't make it the year before me. I literally didn't have classes my senior year. I helped my sister. I went to her classes when I could have been at work. I went to her classes to teachers that I already passed, telling them I'm here to help my sister, begging them to let me sit in the class to help my sister. I did that because I did not want my sister to fail again. That don't look right. I don't feel right either. But she didn't feel the same way about me, though. Eventually, y'all, I moved out. After 3 months of living in a low income with my sister, where I could have probably moved up in life, saved some money, all that, I had to move out and move in with my mom. She didn't really have much space. She was in a 1-bedroom, but she had a nice size closet inside the room of her dining room, which I turned into my room. I piled up my twin bed, my dresser, all the totes with me and my daughter's stuff, and I slept in a closet for about a month and a half until I was able to talk to my mom's landlord to rent an apartment downstairs from her. It was the hardest thing in my life to sleep in a closet, but I promise you I was more peaceful in that closet than I ever was in a house with my sister. Sad, but true. I'm getting inboxes because people want to know the update about my first story time when I talked about how me and my sister had our own apartment. Well, eventually my sister did lose that apartment. She lost it. She had a boyfriend that was living with her, but also breaking into other residents' homes and bringing all the evidence back to the apartment. So they found out somebody actually spotted him breaking into somebody's house, walked right back to her apartment, and then when they went in there, they found everything. So yeah, she lost her apartment. And again, I was the sister there to help her cope with it all. Because my mom would not allow her to move back in with her at the time, I let her move in with me. She was pregnant. I was not going to allow my sister to be out there. I understand everything she had done to me prior, because it's a lot of things she done to me before we even got our own apartment. But I still could not see her just being out there pregnant already with a child. So I let her move in with me. She didn't try anything while she was living with me, which honestly, when you think back about that, it's almost like somebody humbled themselves because they need you. But nevertheless, yeah, she lost that apartment within a few months, honestly. Sad to say, but everything happens for a reason, so it is what it is. P.S. Before she had to move in with me and lost her apartment, she definitely tried some shit with me again. Her and her boyfriend. I remember that day like it was yesterday, because that day too shocked me. Everything my sister has ever done to me has made me feel like disbelief, shock. Why she keep doing it? Why hasn't she learned? Why hasn't she changed? And the only thing I ever heard from family, and I mean cousins, grandma, mama, daddy, aunts, that's your sister. You gotta forgive her. Y'all gotta put that behind y'all. And up until just recently, I had to tell myself and any family member that ever wanted to try to tell me that, please don't tell me that. Because y'all ain't go through it. I'm always at the shit end of this damn stick of a sibling relationship. You can't keep telling me to just forgive and forget. Eventually, y'all gonna have to just accept that I am just cutting my ties, because it's harming me more than it's helping me. Honestly, the only time I ever seen this relationship help me is to know how to get in the club underage, or know how to fucking do some shit that don't pertain to growing in life. It's just pertain to having fun. But I'll tell y'all about that time when she was pregnant and her boyfriend and her tried me. I'll tell y'all about that next time. Y'all have happy holidays though.
This is not something I ever thought that I would be revisiting again, but seeing as how the person that I left 6 years ago is once again being publicly defamed for the abuse of many women in the Denver area, here I am. I know I'm not the first person that he has treated this way, and I certainly was not the last. And now there is an amazing group of women who are using every shred of their platform to make sure that this person does not have access to women ever again. This is going to take so many parts. So much happened, and so much is continuing to happen. And I have a lot to say, and I've never just said it. So I guess welcome to part 1 about my awful, abusive ex-boyfriend. Almost 7 years ago, in March of 2019, I met Lucas Sachs, aka Luca in Denver, Mr. Don't Ask, when I went on a trip to Denver with my friend, and she knew him. They are both in the music industry, and we stayed at his condo, which is the condo that I ended up moving into that same year. And we connected on that trip, connected pretty quickly, and started dating long distance pretty quickly. I would take frequent trips to Denver. I would fly there, and we would have a bunch of fun. That's the thing. That's the thing with people like this. They're typically pretty fun in the beginning because they have to give you something to latch onto when things get really bad. And the thing about being a new person in Denver was that Lucas had the ability to control how I thought of people, or how I should think about people in the area. And he had, what I know now was, he had developed a pattern of getting ahead of any sort of accusations that you might hear about him from the past by saying, oh, that person is crazy. They owe me $20,000. They tried to ruin my life. Me, 2021. Oh my God, I'm never going to talk to that person. I'm never going to trust a thing that they say because I trust you, the person that is graciously welcoming me into the community and showing me all of his friends and showing me his life and sharing his life with me. So from the beginning, he was able to isolate me in that way. And I know he has done that to other people about me moving forward. So strike number one, do not trust this person. I did not know that. When we had a lot of distance in between us, via living in different states, there was enough proximity that I didn't pick up on too many red flags. I think I was really enjoying myself, and my friend would also meet up with us in Denver sometimes. Sometimes he would come up to where I live. And it was a fine time. I remember the first time I was like, that's kind of weird, is that he would always talk about me. I'm not even kidding. He would always address me as his hot girlfriend. This is my hot girlfriend. Hey everybody, this is Maggie, my hot girlfriend. He would text about me. And I just found that to be so weird. It's like, there's other things that you can say about me, and you could also just call me your girlfriend. When I asked him about it, he was like, well, don't you want me to say nice things about you? And I was like, well, yeah, on paper, I guess. I just think that there are other things that you could say as well. It felt very braggy. And that is another thing, strike two, things to look for, or things that you may have picked up on from this person, is that he is a bragger. He will tell you all of the things he owns, all of the things he's created, all the things he's done, all the people that he knows that are so important. He can get into anywhere. He can go to any club. He can go to any festival. He can do whatever he wants. Whatever. He creates this like fabric of relevancy that never existed in the first place. He lied about owning a company that turns out he was just an employee of. There's so much, you'll hear about the lives. So he creates this web of like superiority and holds himself a little bit higher. That's not something that I truly started to pick up on for a long time. To be honest, I was really enthralled in his friends and how much fun we would have in Denver, going out all of the time. I was truly having a blast. After spending the spring and the summer long distance, we decided to make the plans to live with each other, and that would entail me moving to Denver. So I started applying for jobs, and I got a job in the field that I worked in at the time, but I wouldn't start until November. So my plan was I'll move out in November. That gives us a lot of time, March to November, to be still having trips, getting to know each other, and I liked that. I really liked where I lived. I liked my roommates, and I was also having fun at home. So I was not too eager to leave, but I was pressured incredibly hard by Lucas to move to Denver earlier, when admittedly I was not prepared. I wasn't ready. I should not have listened. I really needed to get to know him better, clearly. But I did end up moving earlier. I told him that my job was not going to start until November, and he always bragged about having a lot of money. I don't know how much money he had. I don't know if he even had that much money, but any hoozle. I said, I'm not going to be making money until November, and he said, that's fine, I'll support you. Locked in. Controlled my narrative, now supporting me, getting me away from my support system. So I guess welcome to part one about
She was probably, I'm sorry, can you stop breathing so loud, honey? He's like, breathe quietly.
Okay, this is part two of me telling the story of my abusive ex-boyfriend, Lucas Sachs, aka Luca in Denver, Mr. Don't Ask, lots of different aliases there. I was not his first victim, and I certainly was not his last. He's been abusing women in the Denver area probably for almost a decade now, and we are telling our stories in an effort to make sure that he does not have access to women anymore.
Lucas was in the music industry. He liked to DJ, he managed some artists, and so that was pretty much his hobby. We were always out. Always out. When I say like sleep deprivation to the max, Wednesday through like Sunday was just out. There were nights where we would go to a concert and then 2 clubs and then an after party. I was tired. As you can probably infer, we weren't necessarily being children of God. You know, we were young, we were out. This started to take a serious toll on me. I remember, and granted, I was not taking the best care of myself. It was hard to be sleep deprived. It was hard to be partaking in things that were not good on my body. I had a very short, like, emotional fuse, and I was getting burnt out really, really quickly, and therefore I was not taking care of myself. It was not good. However, I think that's just more of a testament to how I let somebody treat me so poorly. But shortly after I moved in with him, that is when I started noticing things that probably should have been a way bigger red flag to me than they were. Lucas wanted me everywhere with him. Like I said in the last video, he liked to brag about me. He wanted to parade me around. When I would ask him about it, it would be like he was offended, like I was saying he was doing something wrong, when he just was like, oh, I just want to show you off. After all of those long nights, we would come home and be exhausted. It would be either the middle of the night or like the wee early hours of the morning, and I would pass out. I would get home, I need sleep. We would like turn on a TV show and I would fall asleep. And pretty shortly after I moved in is when things that require consent that I was not able to give on account of me being asleep would happen. I don't even know how to explain. I don't even think I knew how to explain to people what was happening. I don't even think I could fully grasp what was happening, why somebody would want to do that to a person who is out. And I don't think I really had the wits to understand that that wasn't as okay. It was even worse than I thought that it was. It was painful. I would wake up in pain because of it. It was scary. I was being taken advantage of when I wasn't even awake. I was asleep. I was in deep sleep because I was sleep deprived and on, things that your grandma doesn't necessarily want you doing. This is when I started realizing Lucas's pattern of thinking that he is entitled to his partner's body at any given time, whenever he wants. It was his way of coping with stress. He would say he was so stressed out, and that was the only thing that could make him feel better. And if you didn't do it for him, then now it's your fault that he's stressed out. How dare you treat him that way? Why wouldn't you want him to feel better? So not only is it happening when I'm passed out, it's also happening when I don't have the spine or the voice to say no, when my partner is telling me that this is a requirement and that I'm wrong if I say no. And just so you know, if you don't know, having to be tricked or convinced into saying yes is still not consent. The time when this particular behavior became the scariest for me was when we went on a trip to California. The artist that he managed was playing a show in San Diego, and then the next day playing, or maybe the day after, playing a show in LA. So we were flying to San Diego for the first show, and I had a great time because that friend that I met him through was meeting up with us as well, and I love her. And we had a great time. I drank a lot. Everybody drank a lot. And then we went back to the hotel with everybody, the artist's girlfriend, who is literally a doll, my friend, and we were having a blast. I thought we were having a blast until the next morning when we all had to drive to LA, and it turns out Lucas wasn't having a blast, and it was my fault. It was my fault. I embarrassed him. I got way too drunk. Everybody was telling him how stupid I was acting and that I was so embarrassing and that he should never take me anywhere. How dare I? He shouldn't have even taken me on that trip. He should just leave me there. Basically calling me everything except a child of God. So that was obviously affecting me deeply, because I was also around people that I cared about a lot and being made to think that they were talking about me behind my back. And so I asked, and they were like, no, we don't think that at all. Like, we think you're dope. That's actually so rude that he would say that. And I was like, okay, that makes me feel a little bit better. So we get to LA, to the hotel that we're staying at, and Lucas is going out to dinner with everybody, and then some, I believe. There's also more people, and so he wants to take me, but I'm exhausted. I didn't want to go out. I wanted to stay in the hotel and sleep, and so I did. And I was like, have fun, have a great time. I'll be here. And then the festival was going to be the next day. I get woken up incredibly late at night, middle of the night, by Lucas, shaking me and screaming at me that I was the worst girlfriend. I was the most unsupportive girlfriend. How dare I make him have to go to a dinner alone and be around a bunch of people without his girlfriend. That I was pathetic. That I don't care about him because I got so drunk that I didn't want to go to dinner, make an appearance. I don't know. I was like, what is happening? Except for that he's not just saying it with his words. He's in my face screaming at me that I'm pathetic. I'm the worst. He should just leave me there. How fucking dare I? He's breaking up with me. And that on top of that he was so stressed out about this trip. It was one of the biggest shows his artist was playing, and I hadn't even done him a favor with my body yet. So my tactic for dealing with what my brain and my body had been going through nearly every single night was to try and avoid it at all costs. And I guess he had clocked that. So when we were on this trip, he's screaming at me in my face in the middle of the night, not letting me go to sleep, about how I made him go to dinner by himself. Now I'm also the worst girlfriend. He's gonna leave me there. How dare you not service me in this way? I'm so pathetic. For Lucas, there was one way to make his stress go away, and it was my job to do it. And if I didn't, his whole wrath was then my fault. I'm acting this way because you won't do what I want you to do. I can't believe this trip isn't even over yet. But I've used up almost an entire video, so part 3 is in the works.
I was assigned female at birth.
This is part 3 of me telling the story of dating and living with my ex-boyfriend, abuser, Lucas Sachs, who lives in the Denver area and is involved in the EDM scene. I, along with a handful of other women, are telling our experiences of this person in hopes that this person does not have access to women ever again. Where I left off, Lucas, aka Luca in Denver, Mr. Don't Ask, and I were on a trip to California because one of the artists that he managed was playing 2 shows. We were in LA, and he got back from a dinner that I opted out of because I was tired and wanted to sleep. And when he got back, he started screaming at me in the middle of the night that I was the worst person in the world and that he didn't want to be with me anymore because I made him look dumb by having to go to dinner by himself, and that he was really stressed out and I would not service him with my body. And so that made me deserving of all of his anger and his screaming. The hotel room that we were in had 2 separate beds, and so he laid down in the other one when he was done screaming at me and letting all of his anger out, and laid down and fell asleep like a baby, like nothing had ever happened. I had not ever seen anything like that, and I was left awake with my adrenaline pumping, scared. He wasn't interested in hearing an apology. He was only interested in taking his anger out on me, telling me that I was pathetic and the worst person in the world, and then going to sleep and making me sit with that.
when we woke up in the morning, he engaged in a pattern that became pretty common for him, where he just started being insanely sweet to me and apologetic. And I don't know why I did that. I don't know who I am or who that was, and I'm so sorry, and please forgive me. I want you around today. I want to make it up to you. And then the pleading and the apologies escalate into like deep emotion where he starts crying. And then all of a sudden I have to console him and tell him it's okay. You're not a bad person. It's okay. Like, we make mistakes. And so being the hurt person in this situation, I get no validation. I get no acknowledgement over the treatment from last night, other than this weird, twisted, manipulative acknowledgement where I'm left comforting him. So now we have this big day ahead of us. It's Hard Day of the Dead. His artist is playing tonight. He all of a sudden wants me around. I am to go everywhere with him. I went to some meetings he had in the morning. And then we go to the festival, and the entire day I'm just on eggshells. I'm confused. I'm trying to have fun because I am with my friends, but I'm like, you're scary. I'm scared. And he's acting like everything's normal. And I'm just like, am I crazy? The rest of the trip from the outside looking in was pretty normal. Lucas like re-engaged in being the fun, charismatic center of attention person that he was. But looking back on it, I was terrified. I was walking on eggshells. I didn't know if this was going to happen again. I was suddenly so scared, and it just set the tone for the entire rest of our relationship. This is how everything went. I wouldn't even know that I was doing something wrong until we would get into the comfort of our own home. It was not comfortable there. And it was something else that I did to embarrass him. I made him look bad. I made him look stupid. I acted like a fool. How dare I? It became a constant cycle. That on top of also he's still taking advantage of me when I'm sleep deprived and passed out. And it's awful. I stopped eating. I started treating myself even worse. I remember being at an after party one time and passing out, and the people at that party had to cook food for me in the middle of the night because I was getting to the point where I couldn't even like stand on my 2 feet. The abuse that I was enduring was making me sick. It was making me mentally sick and physically sick, and it only just continued to escalate. So shortly after we get back from California, I have to start my job. I get to start my job. And for the most part, I wake up really early for my job, like 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. And so I don't want to be going out as frequently. This upsets him. And I now know what happens when I upset him. I become the receiver of the most intense anger that I have ever experienced, and really like significant mistreatment. And so I don't want to upset him, and so I try to go to as much as I can, and that would mean sometimes like staying up until 2 or 3 a.m. and then literally going to work at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m., which is insane. I don't know how I was doing that, but it just added on to the exhaustion, emotional exhaustion, physical exhaustion, and it was hard. Even though I would be going out a little less, Lucas would be going out the same amount because it's his job, it's his industry, and these are his friends, and he gets to do that. And one thing about Lucas is that he loves to have beautiful people around. It is so in line with like his braggy personality that I was telling you all about, is that he wants beautiful women around him. As you can see, like the other women who are telling their stories are literally stunning. So part of this character that he has built is including these like amazing, beautiful people all around him. It makes being his friend seem really fun, and it makes being his partner seem really fun. But
that all started to come around and really bother me when I started getting DMs or hearing whispers of like, hey girl, literally, hey girl, I want you to ask your friends what Lucas is doing when you're not around. And I want you to believe them when they tell you. And when you're 21 and an idiot and you get a message like this, you don't go straight to the friends. You're like, hey Lucas, why would somebody say this to me? And any accusation against his character is just flipped right back onto you. How dare you not trust me? I've done nothing but give you everything. I have given you my soul and my heart, and you're taking it and you're stomping on it. Like, he gets so weird and poetic and like angry, and just makes you think that you're wrong for even bringing it up. So then one day we were getting takeout from one of our favorite ramen restaurants, and this was coming off the coattails of a night very similar to all the rest of them. He comes home middle of the night or wee hours of the morning, takes advantage of me, and then passes out. And this particular one made me more uncomfortable because it was a girl's birthday who I know Lucas liked. She was stunning. She would never give him the time of day that he gave her. And I had also gotten one of those messages that was like, I don't really think that this person is respecting you when you're not around. And so in the center console of his car while he's going in to grab dinner to bring out, I find a receipt for like $940. And it was a bottle of tequila. And I was like, that's really weird. Like, it's really weird to me that the person that I'm with would go out to the club and buy a $900 bottle of tequila and then not tell me. Like, that's not normal behavior to me. And when he came out of the restaurant, I said, hey, what's this? And he snatched it out of my hand and said, put that down and stop snooping in my car. So he yelled at me, and I said, no, I would really like to know what that was about. And he said that it wasn't him. Somebody else had bought it and then given them the receipt because they didn't want to carry the trash, and he was just gonna get rid of it for them. But under the receipt that I had picked up was a copy of the same receipt, and it took me 2 seconds. I picked it up and I looked at it and I said, Lucas, this is the last 4 digits of your credit card. So this is the part where I find out that Lucas is also cheating on me, but I'm gonna have to take it into part 4.